Last year, we made a video announcing some rumors about a possible update to the HSK exams. Well, in this video, I'm going to provide some more info that we have, as well as promote some of the new Skritter decks that use the HSK 3.0 words. Now, this is going to be quite a wordy video, and Iona's just going to sit here and listen.
对，我就只是来当听众的而已，听他怎么跟我解释这样子。
She was initially helping behind the camera, but she thought she would just come and sit and maybe ask some questions. So if you prefer reading a blog instead of listening to a guy speak at camera, then we've done an awesome long blog post about this. But if you prefer videos with fun movement, then this is the one for you. So let's dig into what we know so far. So last May, we learnt that HSK 3.0, rather than have 6 levels, it was now going to have 9 levels.
这个我知道。
And people were annoyed because it meant, like, essentially there's loads more words now. And so, like, HSK 1 of the new system has 500 words, whereas current HSK 1 only has 150. So essentially, a current HSK level 3 person would be within that HSK 1 of the new system. But it's important to know that your Mandarin hasn't gotten worse. It's just the goalposts have moved. So now it's just, you can learn way more Mandarin, and there's now better levels to decide which level you fit in.
因为毕竟，假如说你真的学到了一定程度的中文，可是假如说它的等级最高就是 HSK 6，那这样的话 ，HSK 6会这些的人，可是真的很厉害的人，他们就没办法区分出来嘛。
Yeah, obviously HSK 6, if you can get to that level, it's awesome. But I don't think it puts you at a native speaker or fluent level.
对。
You could probably pass it and maybe not have the best Mandarin in the world.
对。
So what this does, it adds another 3 levels above that, so you could get much closer to a fluency, similar to the Common European Framework, where it's got like A1, B2, C, C1, C2. Now, don't worry, the changes aren't happening right this minute. So if you need to get into university or something like that, the current HSK 2.0 is still going to be in use, and actually for the foreseeable future. So actually there's still no timeline for when they're going to start using the new 3.0 system. So what they're going to first start with is HSK levels 7 to 9. So they're going to start rolling that out maybe at the end of this year or maybe March of next year. So if you're an advanced learner who wants to just basically challenge himself to a whole new world of pain, then maybe the HSK 3.0 will come sooner.
我们的老板应该会很开心。
He's got a new challenge. But for the rest of us, I think it's probably wise to just continue studying the classical HSK 2.0 ones.
所以就是说，假如说我是一个初学者，中文的初学者，现在就是我不管怎么样，至少他们要公布这个 3.0 的事情还很久。
Yeah.
对，我就不需要管嘛。对。
Yeah, so even though the word list is out and we've made Skritter lists for you, there's not going to be tests on the lower levels for a few years, and there won't be any textbooks or practice papers for that level either. So if you're a beginner, it's probably wise to continue studying, making your way through the lower levels of the current version.
了解。
So now let's look at some changes that might affect you now or in the future.
好。
And that is the announcement of now they're going to be requiring handwriting. So that's good for Skritter, because you guys have to learn handwriting in order to prove that you're good at Mandarin. So it's not clear exactly how it will be tested, but for HSK 1 to 3, copying characters within allotted time is mentioned, and knowledge of those characters is also important. And so for the HSK's levels 1 to 3, there are 300 characters that you need to be able to 手写, write by hand. Yeah. And we've got an awesome deck on Skritter with just those characters. And so for higher levels, there's obviously going to be more characters to learn by hand within a set amount of time. So to all those people that don't want to learn to write handwriting anymore, well, now you're going to have to, if you want to pass these tests. And even if you don't plan to write by hand, like in your day-to-day life, being able to write characters is very beneficial for your muscle memory and also how to break apart characters. So apart from handwriting, there's another big update, and that is translations. So starting from level 4, translations will be a part of it. So we don't know exactly what this means, but as outlined in the official document, which is linked on our blog, it starts with basic translations and interpretation for HSK 4 and ends with like all the way up to level 9, which would be like fluent NATO speak translating for the president, all of that kind of level.
我感觉这些改变都还蛮合理的啊，就是像我们自己在考英文的检定的时候，我们也都是需要 handwriting， 也都是需要那个 translation， 所以我觉得都还好。
So let's conclude. Let's split up 3 different types of students. So you have the beginner or intermediate students. I would say continue prepping for HSK 2.0. So use the decks on Skritter, buy the resources, practice this like grammar patterns, because that's not going to change for several years. Now, if you're an advanced learner who needs to get into a job, again, HSK 6 of the current version is probably what you want to study for. Because we don't know when companies are going to ask for this new standard. And we don't know if before you needed 6 to get in, and now they're going to be like, okay, you need 9. So essentially try and get your HSK 6 now, because maybe in a few years they'll be asking for a different standard. And finally, the student like our boss, Jake, who just wants a challenge. HSK 7 to 9, thousands of new characters to study. Like, it's great. So for those kind of students, go ahead and use the study decks we've provided. And for all you self-studiers like myself, you may as well just use the new HSK levels because it's got a larger range of language, and kind of HSK 1 is probably going to give you a much more rounded language instruction. So what have we done? We've spent the last few months curating the new HSK word list into all the relevant deck lists, and now they're ordered by frequency. And we've also been like double checking to make sure there's no mistakes. Actually, it's pretty cool. In our app, let's say you've been studying the old standard. If you open the new decks, it will actually give you a percentage of how many words you know. Okay, that's it for now. If you want to read all of the details, check out our mega blog post or keep up to date with all the changes on the Skritter forum. But in the meantime, the important thing to know is that studying Chinese is important. You don't just need to do it for a test. Find something you enjoy and just study that.
好，没问题。
Okay, we'll see you in the next HSK 3.0 update video. Bye.